Okay, beginning with proofs, we have the first two rules here. We're in chapter 4, first section. We get modus ponens and modus tollens. Let's talk about these rules a little bit. First, to begin, modus ponens looks like this. Well, this is how you spell it. We're going to abbreviate it MP. We're going to use abbreviations in proofs, which I'm going to describe in the next clip. All right. Modus ponens, let me just say it in words first, is when we have an if-then, which is the horseshoe, the part to the left of an if-then. Let's draw an if-then over here. If P then Q, the part to the left is called the antecedent. This is helpful terminology here. And the part to the right is called the consequent. Now, we have an if-then, and then we have the antecedent. We have it as in other words, it's true, and then of course we get the consequent as being true. If it's true that if P then Q, and P is true, then Q has to be true. It's basic core logical inference, almost painfully obvious to state. So the rule then appears like this: if P then Q, P, we'll write the premises above the line and the conclusion below, Q. Now the order of premises does not matter, so if I heard P, and if P, then Q, Q, that would be modus ponens as well. Now it's not quite this simple because this is for any P and Q. No matter what P and Q are, no matter true, false, what they say, even if they don't make sense, as long as it's consistent by the rule, by the definition of if-then, you can check this with the direct or indirect truth table, and the conclusion follows. Modus tollens is also an if-then rule. But this time, abbreviated MT, this time instead of having the antecedent, we have the negation of the consequent, the part after the horseshoe, the then part. So P implies Q is one way to put it, and Q is not true. It's not the case that Q. So that means that it's not the case that P. It can't be. If a first thing implies a second, we don't have the second, we can't have the first. Another core, basic, important, logical inference. Order doesn't matter again, so I can write it with premises reversed. We get the same story. Okay, a couple quick examples for any P and Q. Let's go with modus ponens. Let's say that P is an if and only if. We have A if and only if B, then C. For modus ponens, we would need the antecedent, A if and only if B. And what follows by modus ponens is the consequent, C. One more modus ponens. Let's say we have an antecedent of not A and a consequent of B or not C. Modus ponens says if we have the antecedent, which is not A here, we get the consequent. You should know what it is. It's B or not C. Okay, modus tollens, quick one here. Let's say I have A and, a little rough A, we're going to go with that though. If A and B, then D or E. Okay, with this if-then we could go either way. For modus ponens we need A and B, we get D or E. For modus tollens, however, we need negation of D or E, negation of the consequent, and what we get is the negation of the antecedent, not A and B, like that. That's about it.